The red curtain here. I got to kind of work behind the scenes. A lot of you are used to seeing me in front of the scenes. I got to kind of work behind the scenes on the panels and programming and curation. And the reason I'm telling you this and giving you that peek behind the curtain is I really was so excited about really acknowledging and spotlighting what a convention like Texas Frightmare Weekend brings us as horror fans. And that's this unique opportunity to not only have, all of these icons of horror under one roof, but to group them together. And I think there's something really exciting about, we're all so excited to see these people here in real life, off the screen, but what happens when we kind of pair them together and we let these kind of icons of horror that have kind of, made our dreams come true and haunted our nightmares, what happens when we kind of put them all together in a conversation that could only happen on this stage at Texas Frightmare Weekend. It's completely unique that we have this kind of curated gathering of talent. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited that they all agreed to that because it's like throwing kind of a curveball beyond the normal panel that everyone's used to. So thank you all also for showing up to this. You deserve a round of applause. I'm excited that you're excited here. Kind of a different vibe, but if you liked it, let me know. Hopefully we get to do more cool stuff like this and really, like I said, kind of spotlight the unique opportunity that is Texas Frightmare. Huge round of applause to Lloyd and all the Texas Frightmare staff. Lloyd really does the big part of that, and it's curating these people in the first place and bringing them in. And I can think of no other horror convention that gives us access to the likes of these people. So that's enough. Just want to give you that little peek behind the curtain. This is a very special panel to me, and I'm so glad that we're up here to do it. That is, of course, Robots, Monsters, and Slashers, oh my, the actors who bring nightmares to life. And I'm going to bring them out one by one. Please give them your biggest Texas Frightmare Weekend size welcome. Let's bring her out. Pazuzu herself, Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist. You know him as the Cryptkeeper. It's John Kassir. The Wishmaster, Andrew Divoff! And how many American Horror Story fans do we have in the room? From season 2 Asylum and season 4 Freak Show, it's Pepper, Naomi Grossman! The man that is keeping Spirit Halloween in business every year. Sam from Trick or Treat, Quinn Lord. Slightly taller than you used to. And last but very not least, we are so excited to have her in one of her first convention experiences. She is our new icon of horror, Amie Donald from M3GAN! She's got her cowboy boots on. She's here. All right, I'm going to hand this mic off. If you'd like to ask a question, go ahead and line up here at the microphone stand. Is that creep? Well, I want to first start off by saying thank you. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for agreeing to kind of a weird, wild, wonderful panel. I know it's kind of outside of the norm, but we're so excited to have all of you together, and I can't wait for kind of the conversation that's to come. So, yeah, absolutely. I would love to kind of start off by just, all of you probably got into acting not expecting to be known for playing these grotesque, horrifying, psychopathic, murderous monsters. But here you are, and you're icons, and I would like to kind of just go down the line and have you each kind of talk about what it's like to come to these conventions and see these characters represented and see what it means to everyone and see tattoos of these characters. Like, what has that been like in all of your careers to kind of embody these, you know, icons of horror? We'll go down the line, yeah.
First, okay. It's really an unreal kind of experience, I think, because, well, of course, I never expected this when I started acting at age 5.
Yeah.
Especially not with a grotesque character like you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So that in itself is already like a huge leap and a skip and a jump away from what I was expecting when I was a kid. But oh my, to see people have the character tattooed and saying, hey, can you sign this, can you sign that, here's some merchandise, here's the little action figures, like, oh my God. There's always new stuff every year, it's crazy.
Well, you have, yeah, I mean, like I said, you're single-handedly keeping Spirit Halloween's in business. But the crazy thing is, Trick or Treat was not, you know, what it was when it was released. It was kind of misunderstood, and then it found its audience. So you have the added thing of seeing Sam in like people's yards at Halloween, and it's you're like not only an icon of horror movies, you're just like an icon of the holiday of Halloween now. So
yeah, I thought that was a really interesting concept for the character as well. Like, it's the symbol of Halloween, essentially.
Yeah.
So that I thought was incredible. But yeah, it's hard to, like I said, it's an unreal experience. It's hard, even though I'm like 24 now, I played it when I was 7.
Yeah.
All this time has passed, I'm still like, no way.
Yeah.
So that's some of my experiences. No way.
Yeah. Andrew?
So thankful to be here. It was the first time at Texas Frightmare, so thank you all for being here. Thank you for making me part of the panel. Wishmaster changed my life, truly did. And for an actor to be able to sort of play that split personality, it was a challenge, but one that I was eager to go out and accomplish. Ever thankful as well to Robert Kurtzman, to QnA Effects, to Peter Atkins for his brilliant writing, and I've seen a few tattoos, and it blows my mind. It really blows my mind, and I never would have thought that I'd be sitting here, going on 30 years, well, 25 and 30 soon to come, but thank you all for receiving that monster so well. And by the way, my fellow Big Brother monsters were quite amazing and helpful and gave me a lot of advice, a lot of guidance. So again, just ever thankful to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. Eileen?
I also thank you all for being here. Texas Frightmare many years ago, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago, and I've seen the show grow and grow and grow until it's become like this. So I'm also very grateful to be here. The interesting thing with me, with The Exorcist, is that besides playing Pazuzu, I also played Reagan when she was possessed by the demon, so of course I did all the fun things like masturbating, vomiting, dying, so that was fun.
She'll be doing an exhibition later. She'll be doing an exhibition later. Yes.
But the interesting thing is, I don't know how many of you know, is that Pazuzu, who's become the absolute icon of the whole movie. I mean, Warner Brothers uses Pazuzu's face everywhere, and Pazuzu's totally on the new record album, and which blows me away, because Pazuzu was the last day that we shot The Exorcist after like 4.5 months. And I don't know exactly how it happened, but it came from a makeup test. And it almost didn't happen. So we shot it on the last day. And so that's why I'm so thankful that, you know, Pazuzu has become what Pazuzu has become. And it's so much fun because scaring people, you know, so many of you have come to my table and said, I ruined your childhood. You know, I mean, I love the fact that we have such an effect on fans, and that, I mean, that's why we're here. I think films that you aren't moved by, that you don't laugh, cry, hate, some kind of identification in a film, then the film doesn't work. But we've all affected you in some way or another, which is why you're here, and do that. And since The Exorcist, I've done nothing but horror films, and which is fine with me. They don't cast me as moms, you know, for whatever reason. And so I've had totally this incredible career. I shot 16 indie films in the last year and a half, and they're probably all on Tubi. The ones that got out of post-production. So yeah, I'm extremely grateful to be here, and I thank all you guys. And I'm glad I scared the shit out of you.
Very much too. Very much too. Mr. Cryptkeeper?
Well, you know. You know, I'm grateful. I'm just grateful that, you know, this is a character that I love. I mean, I collected the comic books as a kid, so it was, you know, to be known for a character that you love, because you could very easily wind up and done one of the characters that you hated doing, where they paid you shit and treated you terribly, and everybody knows you for it. And you're like, really?
Nah.
I mean, I would still come sign for fans because you deserve it, but at the same time, I'm just grateful that it's something that I truly love to doing. If I wasn't having a good time being here, yes, you know. If I truly wasn't trying so hard to do the Cryptkeeper that time.
I mean, it's great that you're still scaring new generations of fans as you speak.
Unbelievable. Well, you know, the Cryptkeeper is the gateway drug to horror.
Yeah.
I mean, I said that jokingly, but people always go, yeah, that's true. You know, they don't even laugh. It's because it is. It's, you know, who wouldn't walk past the TV set and hear that voice and see that creepy puppet? And he's going, hello, kitties. It's like he's a kid show host. It scares the shit out of you. And then it's like the roller coaster where they say, I need to get on that roller coaster. And they're like, I'm not getting on that thing. But once you do, it's like, I want one bigger. I want one scarier. You know, and the Cryptkeeper was kind of that effect. And I'm really glad that I get to share that, you know, at the conventions with fans and truly have great conversations. And so many people go, oh, you were my childhood. I mean, that's not what we were expecting to hear. You know? But it is the truth, right? It is the truth.
Absolutely.
But thank you guys for being here. Thank you.
Naomi?
I think, echo what everybody said. I'm just so grateful to be here. I mean, for a very long time, I had one fan, and it was my mom. And so, you know, to have, like, it's real. Like, you know, for the longest time, it was like, I mean, people who thought I was some overnight success with Pepper, like, didn't know that I'd been, you know, I mean, I got my SAG card on my 22nd birthday, I'm sorry, on my 15th birthday, and it wasn't until I was 37 that I actually made SAG insurance. So, you know, there was 22 years there where I was, you know, performing for no one. And so, thank you for finally showing up. This world is still so crazy to me. Like, I look out and there's this, like, sea of black t-shirts and, you know, purple hair and tattoos, and I'm like, how did I get here? You know, how did I get invited to this party? Like, don't you know I'm like the biggest square, you know? It's awesome.
Yeah, you absolutely deserve to be here.
You got here by shaking your head and telling me the number.
I'm the biggest freak of all.
All right, Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
Way down there. How crazy is this for you? Because M3GAN comes out, and you know, horror fans show up to see every horror movie, but every once in a while, a horror fan or a horror movie will hit with it'll kind of impact pop culture, and it'll become this thing that's bigger than the movie, and that's thanks in a large part to your dancing skills. I know different people portray different aspects of M3GAN, but some would say the true M3GAN is the dancing M3GAN, and that is you. And you know, thanks also to TikTok and everything. I mean, this has to just be, you're how old? You're 12, 13?
I'm 13.
This has to be like insane to you, right?
It is, because I never thought that I would get into acting. I never thought that that was the way I was going to go. But because my dance teacher, she was always telling me that I perform really well in my dances emotionally. So she was always telling me that I needed to start going for roles in acting. But even when I was in the auditions, I didn't know I was going for the role of M3GAN. So when I landed it, I was completely mind blown, and everyone is so nice, and I'm just so happy that everyone loves M3GAN for who she is. And I love that everyone is like doing the dances on TikTok. I think that's pretty cool. But I'm still in shock. Like, I didn't expect it to be this big. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so much of that has been, you know, online and through social, and so to now come to a convention where all of these freaks are like embodying all of the people that are your fans, that has to be like the second layer of overwhelming, right?
Yeah, it's lovely. I love coming to conventions because everybody is so nice and welcoming, and I think that like everyone's really accepted, and that's what I love.
I meant freaks as a compliment, by the way. I consider it as a freak. But I would love, like, since, what I think is incredible when I look down this line is, there are, horror is probably the most popular genre. There are more horror movies made than any other. I think it's an easier genre to break into. But that said, with all the horror movies that come out, it is very hard to give us new icons of horror, so to speak. And so I look down this line and I see people that, became instantly iconic, and M3GAN is no different. I think it takes even maybe more nowadays because everything is so cyclical, and anyway, it's so cool to have you all grouped. But I would love if all of you in your careers have any advice for Amy as she's taking on this new, not maybe even her career, but just what it's like to navigate being this kind of recognizable figure. And Quinn, I think you especially, since you started not too much, younger than your age, like, is there any kind of, wisdom you can impart?
Well, I think I'm probably one of the worst people, other than herself, to ask that question. I'm the second youngest on the panel.
That's true, but the only child, that's true.
But yeah,
Not a child anymore.
I guess it's really just stating the obvious of just don't take it for granted. And
Yeah.
every single day at a convention is just enjoy it to the max.
Yeah.
It's all about enjoyment, not like letting it go to your head at all.
Yeah, and just hope that Spirit Halloween decides that M3GAN is also a mascot for Halloween, because then you can put yourself through college. All right, Andrew, what about you?
If anything, I would ask for advice. It sounds like you've got a good head on your shoulders, and just keep appreciating.
Eileen?
I don't know. I think one thing that there's so many films out there, and you probably will always be known for M3GAN, like we're always known for our films, even though we have so many of them. And that's okay, because I think we're all proud of what we did.
True.
And like, I know with me, I have, 10 other films on my table, but The Exorcist is what everybody wants. And I'm very grateful to The Exorcist. So, but I think you have that. I think you are very grateful that you were picked to do what you want. And if you had been in The Exorcist instead of Linda Blair, I never would have had a job. You really seem very capable and very smart. And that's all. I think the other thing really is enjoy every moment of it. That's because it is so unique. And I'm going on and on, but
Oh, this is amazing.
I mean, I'm very aware that maybe there's one 1/10,000th thing in the whole world that do what we do. I mean, it's minuscule. And sometimes I'm signing my name and I go, wow, this is really weird. You know, people are paying me money to sign my name. So I know I'm incredibly grateful that not only for the acting that I get to do, but that I can come here and sign my name and you guys want to take me home with you. With me, it's kind of weird. Why do you want to take the Zuzu home? But yeah, really enjoying every moment. I know some people get, well, Linda doesn't want to be known from The Exorcist for, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's great that we are known for something, that we carry that torch and we get to do it. So that's all. Just enjoy every single second. But you look at the smile, you are.
You're right, gratitude is a great word, you know, I mean, it's a great thing to keep under your belt. First of all, you know, drop the fake British accent. We know you're from San Antonio. So, no, I'm just kidding, obviously, you know, the Brits take all our jobs. No, I'm just kidding. You know, one thing that I've always said to young actors, because it's something that I've always appreciated about acting, is that you can always get better at it. No matter how good you think you are, somebody tells you you are, it's something that you always can continue to study. I'll always be a student of what I do. And so, especially since you didn't start out as an actor, but you have a natural talent for it, don't do anything to ruin that now, but there will be a point where you'll want to thirst because your natural talent is what they're going to hire you that you do. You know, it's kind of like the Ricky Schroeder, you know.
She probably doesn't know.
The audience does. You know, Ricky Schroeder was like, this wonderful, oh, he's the champ. And then he was like Ricky Schroeder doing sitcom, and then he was Ricky Schroeder, a really fantastic adult actor. You know, somewhere along the line, somebody tried to teach him how to act, and it kind of took away from his natural talent as an actor. But then he realized you could get better, you could get really good at it, and studied with really good people, and he became like an amazing adult actor. But, you know, it's all about the journey. It's never about that one job, you know, and I think you have a long journey ahead of you. I envy you.
I would say, well, you know, you've been very lucky in that, not that it wasn't totally deserving, bravo on your performance, but, you know, you've been very lucky to have this, like, trajectory so early. So it's easy to be seduced by, you know, the red carpets and the press and the conventions and the, you know, all this stuff that isn't guaranteed, right? I mean, we've all done movies that like no one saw. And so I think it's important to love the work and not all the frills, all the bells and whistles that may or may not come along with it, right? So it's important to love the work, but also stay in school. Because right now you may be like, I'm an actress. I mean, obviously you are, but like there's also so much else out there. And so it's a little, I mean, don't get me wrong, but I was acting out of the womb, and by the time I was in college, I was like, well, and not even before college, I was like, I'm an actress, what else would I be? And it was like late in life, and I was like, I'm an actress, like what else am I gonna freaking be? Like I have no other skills, so I think it is important to be open and accepting to just anything and everything that comes at you, because you've got a long life ahead, and there's so much out there, and acting's just one of the million amazing things we can do.
I should have brought tissues up here with me. Let's go to the audience. I'm so excited for y'all to ask some questions.
My name is Sean. My question is for the Cryptkeeper himself. How did you get your voice, and how did you get into your character?
You know, the voice that I assume you mean when you say how did I get my voice, how did I get the voice for the Cryptkeeper? Many of you have come to my table, I've told this story about how the auditions, I went Star Search as a stand-up comic, and a lot of people don't know that, but at the time I was doing an off-Broadway show about stand-up comics. I actually wasn't a stand-up comic, and they asked me to come on as to Star Search, and I said, what is it, singer? Because it was a musical. They go, no, it's stand-up. I said, you know, I'm not really a stand-up. They said, well, you can win $100,000. I'm like, fuck, have you seen my act? So, you know, I went on, and so what I did was I did a bunch of characters and voices, and, you know, I did like the Wizard of Oz in 2.5 minutes. And it's cold enough, I must, you know, the witch laugh and the whole deal. And I wound up winning. So the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, you're going to open for Tom Jones in Vegas. I go, I can't open for Tom Jones in Vegas. Why not? I have no fucking act, you know? So I put together an act. So people started to know that I was doing voices. And I was doing my first series for HBO. And they said, you know, you'd be perfect to go down and audition for the part. Kevin Yeager is holding, and for those of you who don't know Kevin Yeager, Kevin made the puppet. He also made Chucky. A lot of people don't know that these are Chucky eyes that he used on the Cryptkeeper. And which is kind of cool because they didn't give him much money to work with, you know. So he was using spare parts in his shop. And I was just excited to go to Kevin Yeager's studio because he was such a prolific, you know, effects guy and artist. And I had grown up with the comic book, so I knew what I wanted to do with it. But then when I saw the puppet, then I started to go, okay, well, he's got rotting teeth and holes in his throat, and maybe I'll give him the, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West laugh. You know, and I could see some of the other actors like looking at the puns and going, be careful what you ask for. Yeah. You may get it, and oh my God, this is terrible. I'm like, you don't get it. This is like Shakespeare to this guy.
For sure.
They're trying to make him creepy and scary and mean, and I'm like, no, he's fucking funny. This is a funny guy, you know? So I go in and I start doing it for Kevin, and he'd been listening to voices all day, and he was like, and I start doing it, he was like, he starts laughing, and I start laughing, and I go, great, the Cryptkeeper laughs at his own jokes.
Yeah.
And I start like throwing in my own puns and the whole thing. And really, I came up with it there and then, you know, working with Kevin in the studio, looking at the puppet. The next day, he had me doing it for Joel Silver and Dick Donner, who were the biggest guys in the business at the time. They're like, great, we'll see you on the stage. You know, and that may be one of the easiest jobs I ever got in my life. But the voice was really based on, you know, what I thought would marry well, not only with the show, but marry well with the, you know, the creation that Kevin Yeager did.
Good question.
Statements for the Exorcist Queen. Thank you for scaring the shit out of me and love the movies.
Hello, my name is Brittany, and I have a question for both John and Wishmaster. For John, I don't know how you can answer this, but I've always been wondering for a while. How the heck in the early 2000s did the Cryptkeeper puppet wind up on Kids WB when other channels did not want anything to do with it, like ABC?
That's funny. An old girlfriend was putting those bumpers together. No. There's actually part truth to that, but she just happened to be in that position. But, you know, it was funny because I always tell the producers that Tales from the Crypt, you know, as the gateway drug to horror, was being watched by kids, and they didn't believe me. And I was like, you have to do live action one. I go, they're gonna do, they're gonna do Goosebumps and stuff like that. And they're like, nah, that's too scary, it works best. And we're gonna do a cartoon. We're gonna do the game show. We're gonna do stuff for kids. I was like, okay, And so out of the blue, they had a block of, it was because they were doing Goosebumps, they had a block of WB Kids, and they were going to do these, and they saw how popular this genre was with kids that age. So we were like, great, the kid, Cryptkeeper calls everybody kiddies.
Yeah.
It's your old pal, the Cryptkeeper, and they just thought he had this kid show vibe that would be perfect for them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Wishmaster, what did you think about that one character who accidentally wished he was a zit?
Say that again, please.
What did you think about that one character who accidentally wished he became a zit?
Having grown up with a bad zit problem of my own, that's very kind of a oddly personal question.
I'm sorry!
No, it's kind of nice. My only reference to that is actually being a very shy kid in high school, and I guess I'm thankful for it now. I have the scars left over from that, and I think the mental ones have sort of melted away. But it was quite a bullying time. So a thing like that to sort of enjoy a wish like that is totally the other side of that coin. But thank you for the zit cream question.
Hello everybody, thank you for all being here. First and foremost, this question is directed to John Kassir. As you know, we were able to discover the footage for the canceled Tales PC game a while back.
Yes,
so,
thank you for putting that all out there.
No problem. So my question is, with the canceled PC game made by Inspirational, what details do you have about it when it came to your contributions for the game and its production? And if given the opportunity, despite the rights issue, would you reprise the role under a different banner such as Supermassive Games, who made the Dark Pictures anthology?
This feels like a loaded question. It is. I have a business proposal right here.
Well, obviously nobody would be happier than me if any of those things came to fruition, I get a lot of questions about the rights to Tales from the Crypt, and, obviously the rights were based on the comic book. And, Bill Gaines was alive when he licensed Tales from the Crypt to the producers of our show, who are some of the biggest producers in the business. And they made 7 years of a series and 3 movies and, all the record albums and the whole deal. And then when they thought it was done, of course they let the rights lapse because they're not cheap. So, when Mr. Gaines died, it reverted back to the Gaines family, and then probably somewhere at EC Comics, who's not in the industry, wanted maybe some crazy money or anything like that. But in the meantime, we had a guy named Jack Wall, who sadly died a couple of years back. He was an old advertising guy, and that was his job. I used to call him the Cryptkeeper pimp, but he never really liked that very much. But, because he would come up with, he was the one who got the Cryptkeeper to do Universal Studios, and to do Not Scary Farms, and to do Bud Light commercials, and stuff like that. And he was always working on stuff, and he came, he was one that brokered putting together a game, obviously these adventure games. You're looking at the original guy from the original Zelda commercial. Yeah. Zelda. Look it up on YouTube, you'll freak. You go, oh my God, he had hair. We thought it could be something really cool when those kind of games were coming out. I don't know exactly what happened to it. I had recorded a lot of stuff, I got paid. That show was always expensive to do, so I didn't get paid a crap load of money or whatever. But it was disappointing, and I think probably just the idea the game got surpassed so much by other games, they were progressing so quickly that it was, maybe it became something that was not quite as advanced as some of the games. But now it has potential, because people, first of all, like the idea of a throwback game and something that is simple, but then you can put something on it, hey, let's go listen to some vinyl, right? But I would certainly reprise anything that they gave me with Tales from the Crypt. I collected the comic books as a kid. It's something that I've loved always. And I think nobody would probably be happier than me, not only as for the job part of it, but also for the nostalgia of it and the franchise that I would enjoy. But it's really hard to get the rights back. The sad part is this Cryptkeeper stays with us because it's our version of the Cryptkeeper. But the Tales from the Crypt stays with PC Comics because they own it. So, there are those episodes. How they'll ever wind up on streaming or something, I don't know. I think because Jack is gone, there's nobody actually driving that right now. I'll look into it. That's what I will do. That's the best I can say. I will.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody.
Hello, my name is Travis, and I want to say thank you, John Kassir, for over almost 35 years to make the Cryptkeeper come to life by your voice. And my question is, since you read the comics and probably watched all the episodes, do you have a personal favorite tale or an episode that you like?
I've always loved Death of Some Salesman because Tim Curry is so friggin' amazing playing Winona and the mother and the father. It's amazing. I've always loved Ventriloquist's Dummy because Don Rickles is just amazing in it. It's got Morty! And of course Bobcat Goldthwait is fun in that. It's just so classic. I mean, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, they all have like a ventriloquist episode. And these were all based on the original comic book stories, by the way. I think the only Tales from the Crypt episode that we did that wasn't based on it was The Three Pigs, which was the last animated episode that was done by my good buddy Bill Cobb. But those are two of my favorites. Of course, Oils Love It Ends Well, because I was in that one. But and also The Man Who Was Deaf. William Sadler is so good in that. Walter Hill directed that and has Ry Cooder's music. It's just a really good song. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for all of you for being here. We love and appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My question is for Andrew. In your two Wishmaster movies, what was your favorite wish you granted?
I think the favorite one, and I had a chance to spend some time with my friend Kane Hodder a couple weeks ago. It was that wish, and really for a couple of reasons. Kane and I had worked a few times. We'd actually done stunts together. As you know, Kane started out as a stuntman, and so we came to the show, and it was wonderful because we sort of walked and talked how it would sort of develop, how it would evolve. And there was a moment where I thought, you know what, this is the time to share with the audience. And so when he actually gets me to turn away, he says, boy, and then he says, you have to go through me, and I'd love to see that. And I asked Robert Kurtzman, who was brilliant, and I certainly appreciate his guidance. I said, Robert, would it be okay? And I know it's breaking the fourth wall, but for this moment, and this moment alone, would it be okay to look right down the barrel of the camera and sort of share that moment with the crowd and smile? And so we had a chance to talk that over at dinner. And he said, I kind of always wondered where that weird, creepy look came from. But that was my favorite. Thank you for asking.
Awesome.
My name is Jeremy. First off, I'd like to thank all of you for making my life a living hell. In reality, my question though is for Amy. Kind of like a quick two-parter. One, about how many hours a day do you spend dancing, like practicing?
Well, when I was younger, I used to dance maybe like every day of the week. And when I was training to go to the dance World Cup in Portugal, I was training 24 hours a week. And then because of filming, it's been pushed back a lot now, so I'm dancing one night from 4 o'clock till 9 o'clock, and that's it for now. But yeah, it was really fun, and I love dancing.
My little second thing is, and I don't know if you'll do it for us, but would you do the naked dance?
We actually, just in the event that this would come up, have the music queued up. All right, yeah, good. Can everyone see?
Yeah.
All right, do you want to come down and do it over there?
Just right after you kill me when you get here.
So, it
We had a technical difficulty, but turns out we didn't need the music. So that was, thank you for that question. That was incredible. I'll give you your $20 later. All right, next.
I just want to say thank you to all of you for coming. If it wasn't for your individual contributions, and I've seen them all, trust me, I wouldn't have the courage to live in this world. It's because of what you did that I have those tools now. So I don't have a question, just a request for Andrew, if you're willing. Can you say it before we end? As you wish, can you say it? Oh, absolutely. As you wish. Yes.
What's really incredible, reflecting on what you said, is I see it a lot as a moderator that, you all have kind of communicated that a lot of people come up to you and say, like, thanks for ruining my childhood, or thanks for scaring the shit out of me. And I did have the realization of, like, if any of you have individual phobias of them, I really did a number on you by putting them all together. But also to see the other side of that with horror, that it really has saved a lot of people and really means a lot of people. And a lot of people feel othered, but they feel like they can connect with these characters because the monsters are not always the monsters in these movies. Sometimes the monsters are humans. So thank you for that, and thank all of you for that, because horror is cathartic, and a lot of us have felt like monsters are made to feel like that in a lot of ways, and so a lot of you have shown us that in a lot of ways. So thank you so much for that.
Hi everyone, my name's Emerald. I actually recently opened up a horror shop in Denver called Horde, and I sell art and awesome things from all of you guys, hopefully Megan soon as well. And you also keep my business alive as well, so thank you. So thank you to all you guys for what you do. And my quick classic question for everyone is, what's your first favorite or the horror movie that got you into horror?
I feel like your answer and Amy's answer are going to make a lot of us feel very old.
I don't have very specific favorites. I usually have like this huge long list, and whatever comes to mind first is usually what I say. So I think probably the first favorite horror movie of mine ever was Army of Darkness with Bruce Campbell.
I'll take you back a little further. And of course, Mom wouldn't let me watch the movies, right? I was raised by a single mom. God bless her. Rest in peace. So it would be Boris Karloff, Frankenstein.
Eileen?
No, well, I'll take you back to, and I think it was Psycho. And of course, all of us were scared to take a shower. And I think that very much affected me. Also, Max von Sydow. And then I got a chance to work with him, of course, in The Exorcist.
That's amazing.
And I also got a chance to, I did a play with Tony Perkins in New York City called Steamback. And that was just an amazing, I mean, to go to work with icons of your own was just so thrilling. And then Tony and I kind of became friends right before he died.
You know, I too was very much into the Universal horror monster movies as a kid. I mean, anything with a theremin, right? But I remember Abbott and Costello with Frankenstein, which was a good mix, like just with horror and comedy, you know. I remember it coming on distinctly because we didn't have streaming, we didn't have videos, you know, when I was a kid. You had to like look through the newspaper if you didn't have the TV guide to see what was going to be playing that week. And, you know, they played all the great Roger Corman stuff, you know, Mask of the Red Death and House of Wax and, you know, the Tingler, so they played the Wim Castle stuff and that kind of thing. And then they played the Universal horror monster movie stuff in the late afternoon in Baltimore where I grew up. And I remember Abbott and Costello coming on. And there's a scene where they've shipped Frankenstein overseas and he's in packing material and they find him, you know, and I'm like, Mom, you can order Frankenstein! You know, and so of course I went through my Tales from the Crypt comic books looking for Frankenstein, and you know, you could get a submarine and a monkey in a cup and stuff like that. And they finally found in one of my comic books that where you could order Frankenstein was a 6-foot cutout of Frankenstein that I had in the corner of my room for a long time. It was awesome.
Established me as this like poser in horror. So like, in my mind, this isn't really a horror movie at all. It's just a fabulous film that's terrifying. Is Rosemary's Baby. You know, it's a female story, and I'm female. I relate, and you know, I liked her hair. I had that haircut for a while. And, I like the 1960s sort of mod aesthetic, and so yeah. Like I said, I never like sought out horror. I just kind of like fell into this horror hole. Like I just wanted a job. You know? Yeah.
Well, you're here now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not biting my hand.
Before Amy goes, can I say that Rosemary's Baby, I always wanted to be an actress all my life. And when I saw Rosemary's Baby, I thought that Rosemary's husband did a good thing. You know? So, he made a deal with the devil to get a part and had a baby. You know? It was quit. So what was wrong with that?
And Amy, you know, I think M3GAN is a great example of how PG-13 horror can work. It's also a great example of gateway horror for a lot of kids your age. But were you old enough to buy a ticket to M3GAN to get into M3GAN?
Yeah.
You were? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, I loved M3GAN. That was, I love M3GAN, but I'd say my two favorite horror movies would be The Purge and The Black Phone.
Yeah! Good choices. Yeah.
Thank you all.
Seriously, I think the one that was the most viscerally scary to me.
We probably should not have seated you two next to each other then.
Can I interject something here?
Oh, please, yes, this is, yeah, please. This is what I would hope would happen. I was like, God, if it goes off the rails, it's gonna be good.
If you guys really want to find out more about how Zuzu got into the film and how we shot it, and anything you want to know about The Exorcist, plus that you didn't say, how I personally, this little flat-chested, buck-toothed little girl from New York, became an actress when everybody said, no, 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 you can't do that. You can come buy my book. I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. It's an easy read and it's very short chapters, so come on by my table.
You did a lovely plush character. Free copy.
All right, we got time for 2 more, so we'll go you, and we'll finish off with the gentleman appropriately in the Tales from the Crypt shirt. And I don't know why the gentleman behind you is holding up 2 rubber chickens. I don't know if that makes me want to ask your question more or ask it less. So we're gonna end on the rubber chicken. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're gonna end on the tiny M3GAN I see behind you. Can we make sure that we have the song queued up? We're trying to figure it out. All right, maybe we can try it again. All right, here we go. Last
Hi,
one.
I'm Hannah. First, I wanted to thank you, Quinn. As someone who was like really small and has always really loved horror, you're not Ghostface, but I always wanted to be Ghostface for Halloween, and costumes were too big. Still couldn't fit into Naomi, but now I can, so that's really awesome. You have to try and pitch it. I work at a haunted house every year, so I'm going to try and make them also. That'll be awesome. So my question is for you, Quinn, and also Naomi. As characters, I know you're so surprised. As characters in film that speak very little, if at all, what do you find is your biggest challenge?
Well, in the Trick or Treat Roll of Sam specifically, it was being able to see. To be more general, it's a lot about like calculating the movements and figuring out what every little action means, and like what you're hinting at here and hinting at there. So really I put every little action that I did under a microscope, even though I couldn't really see what my flailing limbs were doing. But in the end, it seemed to have worked out from the response it got. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, the not being able to see is definitely the biggest hurdle for me.
All that dialogue, man. I mean, how do you keep it all in? No, I mean, it's obviously, obviously Pepper's life was just nonverbal. It was mostly keeping the audience engaged in this life that we didn't get to hear. It was all emotional and physical and it was. I come from improv, so in that regard, I'm used to being in front of an audience. Give me a location, and like I've got to create an entire world out of nothing. So in that regard, I mean, it was very good casting on their part. No, but so I'm used to kind of creating something out of absolutely nothing, and that's kind of what they gave me. I mean, they gave me some awesome prosthetics. And the idea of, Schlitzie, with the real life microcephalic after whom Pepper was modeled, and that was my job. And so I knew as long as I was doing Schlitzie, as long as I was doing justice to him, then I was doing what they hired me to do. And I could sort of take pressure off myself and be like, you know what? I don't have to memorize lines.
Amazing, thank you. All right. Last 3 are giving me the furious wrap-up symbol, so I want to not cutting you off, and I would love to end on Tiny M3GAN back there. So take it away, sir. Rapid fire.
Hello, this is for John Kassir. I was just curious, what was it like having Arnold Schwarzenegger direct an episode of Tales from the Crypt, and also were you able to keep it in the show after it ended?
Arnold was amazing. If you ever see any of the stuff where he's there, I'm like right off screen, because anytime they had somebody on set, rather than having to get the puppeteers out every time they would do the Cryptkeeper, they would have me talk off camera for him. He was amazing to work for, and I thought he did a great job directing that episode. He really was he's a consummate professional for anybody who's ever worked with him or knows him. He's pretty much driven to everything he does, which is why he's Arnold. But so I thought he was great. As far as keeping anything on the show, I was offered things here and there. I have the Tales from the Crypt pinball machine, in my home. It's got its own little plaque that says this one was made just for John Kassir. I don't think anybody's probably scored as high as I have on that machine. Because I used to play it all the time. But it's pretty addictive. But other than that, one of my favorite things to collect is fan art of the Cryptkeeper. I've taken pictures of pretty much every tattoo that anybody's ever showed me. Maybe one day I'll put together a tabletop book for, just Cryptkeeper tattoos or something, but some people bring just the, and it's really a nod to Kevin Yeager's amazing design, there's so many, obviously I helped bring that to life somewhat, and, but, the fact that people constantly want to do that, take this character and bring him to life through art is just always been amazing to me, and I have a pretty good collection of art that was made by artists and fans and other people besides Kevin.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, Rubber Chicken Man.
Hello, my name is D-Face Unright. I don't have a question, but I would like to thank y'all individually. You young men, thanks to you. You guys are changing lives, by the way. Thanks to you, my great nephew calls me just to say hi and I love you because I'm the coolest dad in the world now because we bonded over you. Wow. You've been at happy places to escape. Well, ever since the first time I saw your movie, and you, ma'am, gosh dang, I love you. You were awesome. As a small child, you gave me the pleasure of having the only adult I was ever scared of watching him piss himself in my living room floor. Your face showed up. And you, sir, you're the reason I didn't hear voices. Yeah, you're the reason I'm like this. I'm part of it. You're a lot of the reason. I didn't know how to go to sleep without listening to you until I was only 35 years old. And you, my dear, we met earlier. Thank you. Lovely visit. Thank you for reminding us to love the different and the weird and the unusual and listen to the silent. And you, little one, I haven't got to see M3GAN yet because I've been busy. I have advice for you. As a haunted house actor with my whole 1,808 followers, always stay humble. Always know that we really do love you guys, and I'm going to teach you the thing that you're going to need to know for the rest of your life, because we all know it. I'm going to teach you the secret to never getting old, and that's to never stop playing.
I think we all gained a scary rubber chicken ant here today, but that was really that was, to be totally honest, not what I was expecting to come. But I mean, round of applause. That was so sweet. I think both in your costume and in your personality perfectly represent what Texas Frightmare is all about. And on that note, let's take it out appropriately with M3GAN herself. M3GAN, I hope you have a question for M3GAN. What is your name?
Hi, my name is Romilly, and I would like to ask you, Amy, how were the actors like when you met them?
It was really fun on set meeting all of the cast and group because everyone's so lovely. Like, when you'd first meet them, they'd always greet you and you'd always feel so welcome when you're on set and even off it. And I thought it was really cool because you create these close connections with all of these friends that you make on set, and it's fun because even if you're not filming, you're always creating fun and new memories with everyone.
So sweet, what a perfect way to end on you, our newest icon aboard. We can't wait to see what you do. Thanks to all of our